I wish people could see like a 24-hour like split screen of your life and my life in the last 24 hours.
Yeah.
It's just me sitting in my room, just sort of staring at the wall, and it's you. And it's you just freaking out in an airport in the Caribbean somewhere, just like
Yeah.
getting chased by cab drivers or something, and like getting attacked by birds. And I'm just like at the store picking out eggs.
The music's all playing softly.
Yeah. Just like, what should I get? Chinese food? Nah.
Drinking
I've
green
had too much
tea.
Chinese food. And then it's like, and it's you, and you're in like a fucking hut somewhere, sweating
Yeah.
off.
I had dogs on the back porch. Literally, they just had loose dogs in the backyard. Like they're like, no, and you don't just have loose dogs everywhere. Like not everybody's cool with dogs. They're all jumping on me. These people, nothing. You know how most time when you see, if I have a dog and it's jumping on you, I'm gonna say, oh, I'm sorry. Hey, Bupkis, come here. You know, dude. These people, they're over here raking the leaves. I'm like,
Wow,
dude, dogs just jumping on me.
Wait, this was at the hotel?
At the hotel.
There's dogs at the hotel?
Yep.
Wow.
All over, dude, running around, barking. There's chickens, dude, not just dogs. There was like, that's Willie. I got a picture on my phone. I don't even know what Willie was. A goat, a donkey.
So it wasn't like a hotel then?
No, it was
like
a hotel.
with like elevators and like
No, there was no elevators.
motel.
Well, that's what you would call it, but this was this was like on the beach. This is like one of those, those like old school like you rent something on the beach.
Yeah.
It used to be a doctor's office, but it was like, we're in Grand Turk.
Wow.
So,
It used to be a doctor's office on the beach?
yeah, I wish I would have took more pictures of the room, but yeah, imagine that, going to the doctor's on the beach.
Wow, with dogs and shit running around.
Yeah. Well, it used to be. Well, I don't know if the dogs were. Well, yeah.
The dogs were definitely there.
They were definitely there.
If they're there now. They were definitely there back
Yeah,
then.
I bet Willie was there.
Wow.
I gotta quit leaning. I feel like I'm messing my back up leaning. I always lean to the side. See how you sit straight? Does it look weird?
I don't know. I mean, I think that's the least of your problems right now.
Yeah.
So you were just like, how long? You got off the boat? They just put you in a hotel for the night, or you were?
Yeah. Yep. Drove me there, and then that was it. It was like, dude, they had us wait 3 hours for the drive. It's like a 15-minute walk.
Oh my
I'm
god!
like, what are we even doing here? I'm pacing back and forth. I'll be back. And then the dude goes drop somebody else off. He's like, oh, I know I was coming now. I got to go get a worker. And then we get in the car. It's a 5-minute drive.
Oh
I'm like ready to snap on the dude.
Wow.
And then, they want the tips. I got to tip the guy.
Wow.
Drove me there.
Wait, this was where they're like people got off the boat. But so these were like passengers. Who were
Well,
going
passengers would get off to check out the little area, and then we go outside of the area. There's a gate. People are getting on walkie-talkies. They're knocking on walls.
Wow.
Dude, when they're coming through, the dude's beeping the cart. Some guy's going like this. Doors are opening.
Huh.
It's like you're leaving Disneyland.
Wow.
And then you go out to the real world. Everything's all beautiful. There's people and stuffed animals out here,
Yeah.
right? And then, dude, this gate opens, and you just see that's actually the place.
Wow.
You see like a building halfway knocked down, like
Yeah.
there's nothing, just gravel and rock and dogs with their nipples hanging.
You always see like little kids with no shirt on running around.
That
They got like sugar cane or
people
something.
going to the store or something.
Well, it's like kids who are like they got something that's not like a snack. It's not like
Yeah.
little kid snacks where they get chips or something. They get like a sugar cane. And they break it off and they do some weird shit that like
Yeah,
it's some real like rural stuff.
yeah.
It's like the Jungle Book. So how long? I mean, what was the journey back then? If you were
It was a while, man. I mean, dude, just the hotel alone I had to stay all night. We got there early, and I had to stay, so they drop us off. We get off the ship early, 6 in the morning.
wow.
Saying you're just there, and there was nothing to really do, Well, by the time we did all our immigration, got checked into the hotel, we just had our bags till about, I don't know, we got in there at about 3, get there all night long, deal with all that bullshit, and then in the morning, they changed my flight at 3 a.m. I don't know. I had to change it back because these are island flights, dude. How about they had to move my flight because the people had too much weight that were pre-booked already.
Oh wow.
So they're like, you were the last one to buy the ticket, and I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Too many fatties.
Yep.
Wow.
I was nervous to say it. I don't even know if you could say it, but that's what happened.
Well, I mean, you gotta think those are little like propeller planes.
Yeah.
I mean, those are like this is like a little like 20-seater. Where it's
It was
just
that
like,
counted. Yeah, it was a 19-seater.
yeah, it's like a little pond jumper. Yeah, you got to think. I mean, like, if you have, 20 skinny-looking Chinese guys as opposed to 20, big farm boys,
Right.
you got to think what that plane's got to do. So it's like, I mean, I'm surprised they don't do that on regular flights.
Well, they ask people their weight. So I think what happens is, they just have the trust system until they don't.
The fact that they don't have that it's an honor system.
Right.
Because people are just, a lot of these guys don't weigh themselves.
Right. Yeah, that's true, too.
They're probably telling you their weight from like high school or something. Wow. Like, I remember I was a linebacker in high school. I was, 195.
Yeah, because
that was only 25 years ago.
Yeah, you think about it. If you go, you don't weigh yourself forever. You ask 20, 30 people. And here's the thing. They're asking people after vacation. That's what I didn't think about.
Yeah.
Or you're gaining weight on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
You are people don't want to believe it.
Well, all the booze and the food.
The booze, the food, the doing nothing.
And the fact that, like, they know the reason why they're asking you your weight is because situations like this, if you say too much, you're going to push you off. So everybody's incentivized to lie a little bit.
Wow, I didn't even think about that.
But you got to think, what if everybody lies? And you just got a bunch of fucking big fat guys on the plane. This shit can barely even, like, make clearance.
Wow. I wonder if they ever had to just say that to somebody. Look, you lied. Look at you.
That is not 245. I'm sorry, sir.
Here's the thing that blows me away. What, are they going to have people step on the scale that holds your luggage? Like, what, are they going to bring out a regular scale? I've never seen anybody weigh it. That would instantly go viral on TikTok. You can't do that to
discrimination.
Dude, imagine going, come on, you serious?
Well, especially, I mean, like, I think men would be a little bit mad, but women would be super pissed. If it was like a woman in her like late 30s, 40s, and you got to tell her like, ma'am, you're no longer 145.
In front of her kids.
Yeah.
Your daughter's 145.
You see that?
That's 145.
You see that midsection right there?
Yeah, that's 145.
Well, it's just like, you think about all the viral videos you see at like, Six Flags. Someone's trying to get on the roller coaster. And there's you waited in line for an hour and a half to get on the Batman ride. And then they put that shit down, and it doesn't click.
Man.
And you got to tell somebody in front of everybody. Everybody's waiting to go on the ride. So everybody's been waiting in line. They're excited to ride. And then they got to tell you, like, no, you got to stand back up and meet your kids later.
Wow. Now you got to walk down all those steps. That would be the
wake-up moment for
That's the wake-up moment. Cause
you would think so, but that's actually the moment where everybody's like, no. That's when they make the viral video where it's like, I was discriminated against.
Make the rides bigger.
Exactly. Yeah, we need more of we need inclusive rides.
My buddy sent me a picture, and I can't even show you, of the plane, the inside of the plane. I have it because he showed me why I couldn't get on. I was like, we couldn't figure out why I couldn't. At first, I was like, why couldn't I get on? I'm like, I'm 140 pounds. Is it going to make that much of a difference?
Huh.
And then he sends me a picture. Dude, you couldn't even walk down the aisle.
Wow.
Yep.
Well, why? I don't understand why you got bumped, though. Why wouldn't they bump one of the fat guys?
That's a good... Well, I was the last one to buy a ticket.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
Yeah, my flight got changed at 3 a.m. I had to wake up in the morning. Imagine, dude. See, the other people, it's nothing. Me, dude, I stress out. Like, how would you feel? Maybe we're normal and other people ain't. But like, people be like, yeah, so you gotta buy another ticket. Dude, I'm just like, no, dude. At 3 a.m. I'm in another island, and I gotta buy a ticket.
Wow.
Wait for expense money. Do this. It's like, dude. There's a lot, dude. You're calling, getting booking numbers. You're in another country.
They woke you up in the middle of the night?
Right. Well, no, I got the email at 3 a.m. So this is what makes it even harder.
So you were just up though.
Oh yeah, I was up all night smacking mosquitoes. But there's nothing I could do at 3 a.m. So I finally fall asleep about 10 minutes before I could even book the flight. But this is why there's nothing I could do. There's not an Uber out there. Like, I'm on an island.
Right.
So there's one guy to give me a ride, and he knows I'm coming at 10 because I'm coming at 9 because your flight's at whatever at 10:30.
Yeah.
Or 10:50. So he's like, I'm coming at 9:30 because your flight's at 10:50. I get my flight changed to 8:55 in the morning.
Wow.
I have nobody to call. It's like, I don't know where the airport is. I'm just out here on this island. He has to give me a ride to the airport. It's like, I'm not about to. I can't hitch a ride. Like,
Right.
Saying, but I guess it's just so common out there in the islands. People are just calm. Oh, yeah, you just changed your flight. I'm like, dude, it's like.
Right. Well, there's probably not that many flights to get off that island. I mean, like, How often can they run that boat? Just jump back and forth, right?
Yeah. Even then, how many flights is there from the other island to
Yeah.
New York?
Oh, wow.
It's probably one that way.
Yeah.
If that. Like
Well,
I
I
might be
think
stuck there 2 days.
That is just sort of the island like mentality, where it's like everything. You gotta think people who live in like a real isolated area, they're always used to shit going wrong for them. Anytime where it's like, oh, my PlayStation, I finally ordered it. It's gonna be here on Friday, and it's like, no, you live on an island.
Right.
It's hopefully gonna be on Friday. I mean, it's gonna get here when it gets here, and so it's like I think you're just used to like, oh, it's,
the island problems.
well, it's island time. You're always just like, if it doesn't work out, I'm just still here.
right.
So it's like that kind of, you go to Hawaii, people still have the same mentality. Everybody moves real slow. There's no like pace to it.
yeah.
Whereas in New York, we're used to things actually kind of happening.
Right.
So it's like, no, I got to get here right now, get in, get out. So it's like, hurry up. But I think the climate like has an effect on people's like entire mentality.
You mean climate as in like the buildings being around you, or you mean the sun?
The
or where you're
climate,
at?
well, just the outdoor temperature, but also just like your surroundings. If you're always used to being in nature.
And even look at the way a palm tree like and shit moves.
Well, there's that, but it's just like if you're used to being, because we're used to like, you're in a big city like this, we're on artificial time. Your phone buzzes, it's still dark outside. You can still, you're on your own clock.
Yeah.
Whereas if you live in the countryside, you're used to sunrise, sunset,
Wow.
high tide, low tide. This is in April. That's when the trees start to grow again. But it's like nothing in nature happens exactly. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no like, it's not exact lines. Everything happens gradually. The sun slowly comes up.
Wow.
It's going to get bright eventually, but it's like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I live in the fucking island.
The sun's gonna come
It's
up.
gonna come up. It's gonna come up eventually, but
Hey,
it's like
man.
I can't tell you it's gonna be 7:45.
Yeah.
Whereas here, it's like, no, we got to meet at this time. So it's like it sends you on a certain way.
Yeah, they're like, you'll get another flight. What are you worried about? I'm
Yeah.
like, dude, are you guys crazy?
Yeah,
I need a ride.
drink a coconut.
Dude, she's just sweeping. I'm like, can you call him? Oh, yeah, I'll call him. I come back out. She's still, oh, you want me to call him now?
Well, the idea where it's like, oh, you want me to do it now?
right.
Oh, I thought you meant eventually.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, yeah, I've been waiting an hour. I thought he'd be here.
Oh
by
yeah,
now.
that's
Oh, no.
why. That's why people get mad about like New York, and they say everybody's so like rude and abrupt. It's like it's just expectation. We're expecting people to move quickly,
Yeah.
so it's like, no, we got to go. This isn't like I'm not making a request. Let's get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, dude, I was pacing back and forth thinking the ride's coming. They're like, oh, no, you know I was coming at 10.
But yeah, like you were saying about like being in the airport, and it's just the stress of travel. At a certain point, everybody has a breaking point where it's like you just lose a certain whatever that like your identity that you have normally. It just kind of gets pushed aside,
Yeah.
and then there's like a kind of a monster.
You start acting like a child or this angry person. It is a monster.
It is a monster that comes out. It's like right now, it's like you couldn't bring that out of you if you wanted to.
Yeah. If I could, I'd be a world champ.
Well, that's the thing. It's like I'm watching those Mike Tyson training videos. The fight's next week. Mike Tyson, he's like making all these really like intense Instagram posts where he's like, Iron Mike's back.
Right.
The killer is back.
Eating raw meat.
Well, it's like Jake Paul, he's a killer, but he's like a manufactured killer. I'm a natural killer. I'm from Brownsville, this and that. And it's like, I think somebody like Mike Tyson, I think there are certain athletes, especially fighters, where they actually can turn a switch. They can't totally turn it, but I think there are some people like Mike Tyson types where it's like they're just born with it.
Right.
Where it's like he's already like, you got to think your monster is like down here and you're normally up here. Mike Tyson, it's like this.
I've met people like that in my life
Yeah.
where they could turn it on.
Yeah. It's like the Incredible Hulk. But it's like most people, I don't think Jake Paul is like that. Jake Paul is an athlete.
Yeah.
I mean, like, the feeling, I'm sure, you got to think back in your boxing days when you got 90 minutes before the fight. You're just in the locker room, waiting around.
Mm-hmm.
There's a fight happening right now. You can kind of hear it in the distance, and it's like you try to sweat a little bit, get warmed up, but it's like, you're fighting Mike Tyson. And Mike Tyson is like, nah, this dude is on.
Right.
He pressed that button, and that shit is on.
Yeah.
But it's like you see it at the airport where it's like any stressful situation like that. It's like you can't control it.
Right.
Once that monster's out, it's not going back in. You can't doesn't go back in, I think, until after you've had a good night's sleep. Once you reset once you sleep for a good, 7-8 hours.
Yeah,
you can't. Once even you're freaking out about getting on the plane. Once you get on the plane, you're still freaking out.
Yeah.
Your heart's still racing. It doesn't actually settle.
You got the little handshake.
Well, you're still on a plane, so it's still you got to deal with the takeoff, and you're still waiting. Why are we still on the runway?
Telling other people next to you.
Well, you're people who are asking the flight attendant, why are we not taking off yet?
Yeah.
Can
you give me a logical reason? Because we don't want you guys to all die.
I don't know. I mean, you're asking people who don't have the answer, and you're asking them questions, and it's that's monster behavior.
I get it in small increments. Dude, I'll be on the phone with the people at the I know, dude. Sometimes you snap and travel. I mean, you can't control it. But I'll never snap like that. But I'll be like, does it make sense to you?
Yeah.
This is one of my lines.
Am I the crazy one here? Yeah, I need you to say it. Well,
I need you to say it.
Yeah. It's I'm just curious.
Oh my God!
I'm just asking now.
Asking your baby. What do you think? Come on.
Well, that's the thing too. Is people are traveling with their kids.
Yeah.
And it's the
Don't
kids.
look at mommy now.
The kids are already kind of on edge because they're kids, but it's then the parents are also freaking out. So it's the person when you're a little kid, you're looking to your parents to be kind of a
leader.
A leader, a calming presence, somebody who knows what's going on. But it's no, now the mother is super freaked out. I've seen that shit happen. Not even, we were already through security. We haven't even, the plane hasn't even, we still got a while. I've seen people freak out at Starbucks in the airport.
Oh, every second.
Yeah.
Why is the line so long at Starbucks? They got figured out. Aren't they tired? 7 Starbucks at one airport I was at once.
It's busy. What do you want people to do? 100 people are trying to get coffee at the same time.
I don't understand how there's so many Starbucks and they're so busy.
Well, I mean, clearly that airport needs another 10 Starbucks.
Right.
There's never going to be enough. Well, you go to airports, you got to think the flights don't come up. It's not like a steady traffic.
But this was never a thing before. This is insane, I feel like.
No, it always was.
Back in the day?
Uh-huh.
Who was the Starbucks back in the day then?
Whatever's open at the airport, everybody's got to eat at the same time. Everybody woke up. It's 6 a.m. Everybody woke up in the middle of the night. Everybody's tired. So it's everybody's got to get coffee at the same time.
These Starbucks is on a different time. Dude, I'm telling you, there's a line of 90 people at every Starbucks at every airport. Other shit, 10, 15 people, 20.
Well, that's because you're at the airport. I mean, everybody's got to come in at the same. You get Starbucks and you're in the city. It's everybody's on kind of a there's a schedule to it. There's a rise and flow.
Yeah.
With airports, regular Starbucks, your busy time is. I used to work coffee shop. Busy time 7:30 to 9:30. That's when they staff the most people. Morning rush. Airports all day long.
Yeah.
People are on European time, so they land in JFK. It's 4:00. They still want coffee.
Oh.
People are flying out. We get to the airport. It's 5 a.m. It's fucking slammed.
Right.
People are eating you go to they got restaurants. People are eating cheeseburgers and drinking beer at 5 a.m.
I see that.
There's no the airport behavior. It just brings out
Vegas.
it brings out the monster in you. There's no logic to the time.
Yeah.
People are watching football and drinking beer in the fucking middle of the night.
Arguing.
Yeah. And it's just they got to. It's crazy to me because you're about to get on a flight. That's the last thing I'd want to do about to get on a flight. Drink a big ass beer
at 2 like you said, for breakfast.
Yeah.
7 a.m.
Yeah. When I get to the airport, you have to catch a flight at 7. I have to get there 5. I mean, I want a granola bar.
Right.
Maybe I have a coffee. I'll drink part of it. I don't want to hurt my stomach. I know I'm about to get on a flight.
Yeah.
These people, it's I think that's we're saying, the monster has come out.
Right.
And suddenly it's just you're the Incredible Hulk. There's no you're just grabbing stuff.
Yep. That's when the snaps happen. Have you ever snapped? I don't think ever in my real life. Not to where I'm out in public. I've done in my room. I've done I'm telling you, in that hotel room, dude, I was jumping up and down. I'm why is this happening to me? Dude, I got down on my knees. I'm God, tell me what I did wrong, please.
It's who are you even talking to at that point?
Right.
You wish you were a little kid so you could talk to your dad. Or it's why we gotta, I'm hungry.
Yeah.
I want it now. But it's no, you're a grown adult. You're by yourself in the fucking Bahamas. There's nobody to talk to.
That's what I called my brother. I was bitching at him.
I mean, that's what we need, like AI to do. That's what it's going to be. You're just going to get on ChatGPT and start, cursing somebody out. It's like, well, you realize, I think the problem, too, is when you're a little kid, you throw a tantrum, you start crying. But it's just like, you just get it out of your system. You watch how little kids, when they throw a tantrum, 10 minutes later, they're fine.
Right.
They just, you're little kids, you're used to kind of letting your emotions out. When you're an adult, you're not used to just, like, outbursts.
Right.
Because you got to keep it all in. You got to keep yourself together. Especially the airport, because everything's on a schedule. That you've seen, think about how many people you've seen in the airport where you can look at the guy and you see his behavior and you know that guy's not going to make his flight.
Oh, yeah.
You're in line. You're at
and you hope he don't.
You're at TSA. Well, you're at TSA line, and it's like you get to the airport expecting that's probably going to be 25, 30 minutes. Sometimes that actually ends up being an hour.
Yep.
You can't control it.
Easily.
A bunch of people showed up at the airport. They got somebody called in sick. It happens all the time.
That's when you see the real in a human. The real human comes out then. They'll cheat. They're cutting you.
Well, they're trying to cut you, but it's just like when you're trying. You've seen the guy who we're in the back of the line, and I know I got to the airport 2 hours early, so I don't really care. So, but there's the guy behind me. He's twitchy.
Right.
He's looking at his watch. You keep seeing him like freak out.
He keeps saying it's 1:03.
Yeah, it's 1:03.
They're boarding at 1:03.
Yeah. I'm looking at him like, all right, I know you're not making your flight.
Right.
So honestly, I don't really care if you cut me.
Right.
I got time. But it's like, no, there's 100 people online. He's got to ask every single person if he can cut.
And most of the time they don't. They'll try to cut rows.
They'll try, but it's just like, all of a sudden now you're
coming out.
You're in a confrontation. Well, your monster's already out.
Other people's monsters
really
out.
Yeah, because this guy's already been waiting in line for
an hour. Cut me in front of my daughter? In front of my daughter?
Yeah, I'm a Marine.
Yeah.
I served this country.
Yeah, Guantanamo Bay, Cuba.
But it's just like, this guy's not making his flight. So it's like you're watching the monsters already come out. We're in TSA line. We haven't even gotten to the gate yet. This dude's about to freak out here. He's going to freak out when he gets to the metal detector and he's got to take off his belt again.
Right.
They send you back in. It's like, oh, no, you got to,
stand over there, bag search.
iPad's got to come out.
Why are you searching my
iPad's got to go back in, yeah. The TSA guy, they don't care. But they're, all of a sudden you're getting flagged. You're getting this and that. They got to check your feet or your hands or something. So he's going to freak out here. He's going to freak out there. And he's going to freak out real bad when he gets to the gate.
Yeah.
When he gets to the gate and that door is closed, that dude is about to be nuclear.
That's when it comes down to if you might do a prison sentence.
Well, that's when it's like no fly list. It's like that's on the table.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're about to do, but something bad's going to happen. And it's like, I don't know what the button looks like to press the no fly list, but there's a finger is about to press that button.
Back in the day, there was way less consequences, I feel like. I don't know, but I feel like you don't see as many people putting hands on other people, but maybe it was always like this or worse. But, nowadays you see people take the shelf and knock it down or something.
Yeah.
Like you won't see them pin the guy against the wall, or maybe that was just in the movies.
Well, just think that moment. There's no we're living in the city. Maybe you got to go to the dentist. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. You're running late. You get to the dentist's office. They're like, sorry, you missed your appointment.
Right.
You call. You make another appointment. You're in Miami. You got to get to L.A., and that door is closed.
Physically, I've been there.
Exactly. Physically, it's like you're stuck.
Yeah.
You're in the airport. Nobody has any sympathy for you in the airport.
Dude, I had it even worse. I was in the Bahamas with a damn AT&T phone that wasn't working.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I left my phone in the cab. Remember, I was in there, dude. I was in a situationship with the other country.
I
didn't know what to do.
Well, it's like at that point, you're trying to, nobody flies for no reason. You always got to get home for something. So this guy is like, you see the guy in the airport who just missed his flight. I don't even know what the next step is. I never missed a flight. But it's like you got to talk to the lady at the gate.
No,
they got to reschedule.
Well, not even all the way to the gate. There's the help information. Then, they put you on the next flight. And I think you even got to pay, $75.
Yeah. So imagine.
And you got to do standby. And there's a standby list. Dude, the one I did, I tried getting on the flight again later. Dude, there was like 6 flights from Florida to New York the one time. I missed the one, and I tried getting on, Every other one wasn't my fault. I missed it, so I wasn't in trouble or anything. I mean, not that I would be. Really, they would just rebook you, but I just missed it for the simple fact that it took too long to get through immigration.
Yeah.
Not even at the airport in the other country
Yeah.
to get to the next flight. But either way, yeah, you just gotta wait, and then you go on the standby list, and then they go, "Oh, sorry, we couldn't get you on this one." And you're like, "What do you mean?" They're like, "There's one at 5:30," and then next thing you know, dude, you're on a hotel floor at 2 a.m, and then you're like, that's why you're like, what the fuck am I doing with my life right now? Like, this happens to me every other week.
Well, you got to do that, and then it's like you're in that hotel knowing you got to go back to the airport.
The next
you got to
week.
go through that, but it's not even that. But it's like you miss your flight, so it's like I guess I'm stuck in wherever, Minnesota. So it's like maybe it's the middle of the night. You got to go to hotel, airport, and you got to come back to the airport the next
you're
day.
sleeping on the airport floor.
Yeah. So imagine you're at the level of freak out. Just think when
2 days on the floor.
Well, remember you go to the doctor's office when you're in you hurt yourself, and they say like, "What's the number?" You're at out of 10.
Yeah.
You gotta say, "Oh, I'm actually at a 7." And
Right.
They gave you some perks or something. That guy who's freaking out at the airport, he's already at a 9.
Yeah, he ain't even remembering what he's doing. Do you think that's an excuse those people say? I blacked out.
I think you do black out. You've seen it. When you lose control, your brain is not like. You literally lose your mind. You're not yourself for like at least another hour.
Yeah.
So it's just like that guy who, if you asked him that moment, what number are you at right now in terms of stress level out of 10? He's going to tell you he's at a 10. But it's like, no, you think you're at a 10. You're about to find out what 10 really is after they tell you can't get on this flight.
Bro, I see it all the time.
You're going to like, this dude is about to flip out.
I've seen it so many times. People would be like, "I'm here with my family."
Yeah.
My family. It'll be like, all you need to do is record this dude on TikTok. His life could be ruined.
Just think, you got to watch like that guy's kids the rest of their life. They're going to be
wife.
Well, I mean, they're going to be looking at him like, I saw you cry at the airport. What?
Yeah.
Right. This
Remember
is
we
like
missed the flight.
there's
Dad?
no erasing that. Yeah.
I just want to know, why is it a random check? Somebody please tell me.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, I see it all the time, dude. I literally see this, exactly what you're talking about. I stay away from the people because I'm like, they could snap. Even like, dude, like we just seen on the news that worker. I mean, it's not just the airport, dude. I've seen this on construction sites. Like when you when you really work for somebody and they screw you, dude, people really snap in those hardened jobs. I think it's like just under pressure. That's what surprises me when people are like, oh, like, how so many people, like these football players, how they snap. And it's like, dude, the amount of pressure these guys and athletes are under too, I feel like.
Right.
But maybe that's like fictitious pressure because at the end of the day, you're still making millions, like at worst you'll get embarrassed.
It's social pressure. The same way if you Instagram, you get like 1 million notifications. It is kind of like you feel your heart jump a little bit.
Yeah.
If you're not used to that level of stress. But it's like, at least with football players, it's like, you're on the field. You get to go on the field and, run it off.
Oh, yeah.
You're in the morning, you hit in the weight room. But it's like, no, when you're at the airport, you have your energy, your heart level's up, but you can't work it out.
And you're with your most important belongings.
Well, you're in the airport, so it's like you got a bag. You can't. That's why, like we were saying a few episodes ago, they need like a boxing gym in the airport. They need this, like, let this dude bench press for a little while.
Yeah,
He's got some stress going on.
They got smoke tanks.
Well, you see some guys who like start doing push-ups by the gate.
Oh yeah.
Or they're like those guys. It looks dumb, but it's like, I get it.
It's the only time they ever do push-ups in their life.
Well, it's like you're in such a situation now where it's like, I gotta do something. It's either this or I'm gonna like really do something I'm gonna regret.
Yeah, I always question those guys. I'm like, but every now and then, I guess 1 out of 10, because it's like, are you all talk or are you really gonna fucking go nuts?
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I want to see it. If you're gonna go psycho, entertain me. I'm sitting here. There ain't nothing to do. They're playing a 90s Bulls game on the TV. It's like, well, I've seen it before.
Oh my God. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like as bad as all this stuff is, it's only getting worse too. I mean, like, you've only been flying these last few years, but it's like back in the day, the level of stress wasn't this high.
Well, what messed it up, because back in the day, you were allowed to smoke in the airport freely.
Kind of. But I mean, even back then, well, also pre 9/11, the security was a breeze. So if you didn't have to get to the airport super early, there was a lot less stress. You could, back in the day when like, your dad comes back in town, you can meet him at the gate.
Wow.
You hug your family at the
What?
gate. Yeah.
Get out.
There was like a greeting area of the airport where it's like, yeah, this is everybody, like has a sign. People are like, everybody's
at the gate. That would be cool.
I don't know if it was like at the gate, but it was like basically there. You get off the plane and it's like, oh, that's my family.
That's so cool.
Whereas now it's like you got to be in a terminal. There's a whole different building you're in.
Yeah.
So it's like psychologically you're going from the outside world and it's like going into the airport. It's like breaking into a jail or something.
I have no experience of life flying before 9/11. I never did it. I told you the closest we did was, I remember we went to Cleveland Airport, and the school bus pulled outside to a plane. We all walked up the steps and went on it, and they couldn't start it for some reason. There was an issue, and so the teacher felt bad, so he had us close our eyes, and he made the noise. Yeah, I'll never forget it.
Wow.
Mr. Dolby, he's like, now, I fly a lot. He was one of these really calm teachers. But yeah, he just went.
That is what it sounds like. I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
But it was just like back then too. There was no, iPhone or anything. So it's like people were just used to leave the house. You're just sort of like in your own world. Whereas now it's like people are on the phone at the airport. They get on the plane. The Wi-Fi is kind of shaky. And so they always got to feel like, I'm missing something from the world.
Yeah.
Whereas back then, before smartphones, anything, getting on an airplane, that door closes. You're in like a cocoon.
Right.
Shit is totally cut off. Whereas now, you're still like half in, half out.
Internet. Yeah, you could go on the internet, Instagram.
People are, trying to talk on the phone while they're on the plane. It's a much more like... you're not actually like going to a separate place.
But
people are still like at home. They're on the airplane. They're taking off their shoes and they're,
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I couldn't even imagine traveling back in the day when people didn't take off their shoes. The amount of disrespect people have nowadays. This dude sitting next to me, and I know he did it on purpose. People do shit, I feel like. I don't know, but how can you accidentally do this? I got my stuff here. He's a tall dude. My stuff's right here. He crosses his leg, puts his whole boot. I'm not going to touch you. Whole boot on my suitcase and jacket, just sitting on it. I go, buddy, are you serious? And he goes, oh, my bad. And just keeps it there.
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, what's the world coming to, man? I turn the suitcase, and then he keeps doing it, keeps reaching over and over.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, now, should I get fucking banned from the airport and lose my job? There's no other seats. The airport's packed. I waited 30 minutes for this fucking seat. I'm like, buddy, dude, everybody's standing. I'm like, dude, come on, man, you're killing me over here. And he's not talking to me. And I'm like he's leaning into me with his boot. And it's like, I know you're doing this on purpose.
Well, I don't even know if he was going out of his way to disrespect you, but I think you're in the airport. People have a mentality of like, these aren't even human beings I'm around. You know what I mean? This is like I'm in a video game and I just got to get through this.
Yeah.
So in the same way, it's like when you're playing Mario and you just jump over the guy and you hit him in the head. It's like, that's what people see the airport. You're just in the way.
Yeah.
I walked into this building and there's my destination over there. Everything else is just, I got to maneuver. So it's like, it doesn't matter if this guy doesn't like me. I'm never going to see him again.
Right.
At the airport. So it's like the monster comes out. Or it's just like, sociopath behavior comes out.
Yeah. $14 for a slice of pizza, I told the lady. Oh, never mind. She's like, no, give me 10. I'm like, no. I'm like, 10? Dude, it was a little slice.
Wow.
I'm like, what are we doing over here? Why don't you
do you know what I've been through?
These other countries, dude, it's like they run them like a corner store, some of the airports, dude. Yeah. You're like, okay, there's not a price. You didn't ring nothing up. Why? Can you tell me why is it $17?
Yeah, how much is a mango?